Hello, welcome to day 5 of our Petite Stitchery & Co. Tristyn leggings sew along. Today should be a quick day. I know when we did the moto, it took a little bit longer. It was a longer day just because they were such big pieces. And then yesterday was a little bit longer because we actually ended up sewing everything together because of doing the solid knee. So we've got two big leg pieces connected here in the middle. So today should be quick and easy because all we're doing today is we're adding the gusset and putting together our waistband and attaching that. So, and then we'll have to hem the bottom, but that's it. So I'm hoping today should be a quick, easy day, and then you'll be able to relax in your Tristyn leggings all weekend long. They are so comfortable, and I love this moto. I've never done a moto before, and I am absolutely loving it. And the pocket is so cool. But okay, we'll get into that a little bit later. First things first, let's just jump into it. Let's get sewing up. Before we start attaching the gusset, what we want to do is we want to just kind of find our center point of the longer part of the gusset here. So just fold your gusset in half, and then you'll just want to mark that halfway point because we'll need it when we attach it to the front. Let's add this in so that you can see my work table here. All right, now what we need to do is we need to take our pieces that are all attached. If you haven't attached them yet, just make sure you attach the side and front and back together because I did the solid knee, like I was saying earlier. I had to attach it all yesterday when we were doing the color block. So what we need to do with this gusset now is we need to take and place it right sides together with the bottom part. So here's the waistband of my leggings, and here's the back seam of it. Here, I'll hold it up and maybe that'll be a little bit easier to tell too. So here's the back seam here, the booty seam, and we're going to put them, our gusset, right side together with that so that the smaller portion of it is going up towards the waistband, and just 1 to 1, so nothing too, we're not stretching it or anything. We are now going to, oh, we lost the other camera. Okay, so just 1 to 1 here. We're just going to sew along right there. Let's see if we can get this camera to come back on. Maybe if I leave and come back and join again. Sorry, I want to make sure that this is on so that you can see the gusset and everything. It's just easier to see everything with this smaller camera. So I apologize. Here we go. Okay, sorry about that, technical difficulties. So we're just going to, again, sew right along here at a 1 to 1. We're not going to stretch or anything. So using 3/8" seam allowance, we're just going to sew along that portion. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lay the other side that doesn't have the gusset out, and we're going to bring our gusset over. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing here. Yep, okay, perfect. So now we're going to bring our gusset over, and instead of just sewing just the gusset, now we're going to make sure to that the raw edges here at the corner are lined up, and that our gusset, the corner, is lined up with this other corner, the bottom corner of the booty seam. And I'm actually going to make sure that the seam where the gusset meets the other back is also lined up. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to sew down and around the edge here. Again, we're not going to stretch anything. It's all 1-to-1, and we're just going to attach then this other back to the other back with the gusset in the middle. So here we are. We're going to basically sew on this L. Not basically, we are sewing on this L. So, all right, so 3-inch seam allowance. If you're using a regular sewing machine and not a serger, you want to make sure, especially on this, that you use a stretch stitch, whether you use a zigzag or a triple stretch or a lightning stitch. And then I would even recommend, since it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of strain on this seam, just because it's your booty and it's going to move with you as you move and sit and squat and all these things. So I recommend going back through and reinforcing that with a zigzag stitch as well. So we're going to get to our corner here where our gusset and the sides meet. Just gonna make sure I kind of move it. Okay, check to make sure. You want to make sure especially that this seam here is all the way caught, because you want to have that center seam where the gusset and the back, where the gusset meets the two back pieces, nice and enforced. So now we've got a piece that looks like this. So we're almost done. All that we need to do now is find the center part of our crotch, which is right where that the V meets. And we're going to match that up now with the center of our gusset. So I'll match that up. And then we're going to make sure all our raw edges are lined up. And we are now going to sew down the leg, around the crotch, and down the other leg. So we're basically sewing a big V now to attach the legs together. 3/8-inch seam allowance. I should have pinned this just because it's such a bigger area, but I did not. I'm just going to make sure that my lines match up. So my color block pieces, the seams are aligned. Just making sure those raw edges are right together. Gusset. Just make sure that the color block pieces line up. The seams for those line up again. Nice and so when we get to the V, so when I get to the V in the crotch seam, what I do is I kind of just manipulate the fabric back a little bit so that it's going up and then back down. I don't stretch it or anything, I just manipulate it a little bit. Making sure my knee seams are lined up. Sorry, I'm just making sure, especially with these motos, that my raw edges are all lined up. That's why I think if you would serge the edges of the moto pieces together. Or sewn them down would have made it a little bit easier to make sure that those lined up better, but, or didn't move too much. So now we've got our leggings are entirely put together. So I am going to put them right sides out. And we've got some awesome leggings. Oh, these look so cool. Oh, so cool. Ah. Okay, so now next what we need to do is we're going to add our waistband. Sorry, I'm like loving this so much. Okay, so with the waistband, we have a lining piece and a outer piece waistband. I just did it out of the same fabrics, and then I made sure to label them. But what we need to do is we need to put our front and our backs together. So remember that the marks on the bottom, or the marks that we made, are for the bottom. So we're going to put them right sides together, and we're going to sew along the short edges here on either end. So the back piece is going to be pretty straight, and then the front piece is going to dip in a bit. Or curve in, I guess I should say. So 3/8" seam allowance, we're just going to sew along the short ends of the raw edges to attach the front to the back. And then the same thing with the other side. Okay, so that's for our outer. So let's do the same thing to our lining. So right sides together, making sure that our mark for the back, the bottom is facing the bottom. And then the shorter raw edges, we're going to attach those 3/8" seam allowance. I drank some hot water at lunchtime, so I think my voice is a little better. I don't drink coffee or tea. Just don't care for the flavors. But drink some hot water with some honey in it. I don't know if raise bees is the right. We keep bees, so we have some fresh local honey that we harvested in the fall. So I was able to have some of that in the hot water, and it was very nice. So what we want to do now is we want to take the mane and turn it right sides out. And we have our liner, which is still inside out. And we're going to tuck the mane into the liner so that it's right sides together. And I'm just going to match up these seams on the sides, making sure that your front is in the front and your back is in the back. Don't get those twisted up, mixed up. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to sew along this top edge. So not the bottom where we've got our markings, our pattern markings, but along the top. We're just going to sew along the top and attach the liner and the mane together. 3/8 seam allowance. If you wanted to, like if you were concerned about it not holding up, you can always add some elastic into this seam as well. I've not had any problems with this one, this pattern not staying up, and I've worn them a lot. But if you were worried, or you did, like if you are working out in them a lot and you're like, oh, I want to make sure I have a little bit extra, or if your fabric doesn't have good recovery, I would recommend it. But all right, now what we need to do is flip it so that wrong sides are together. Okay, here's our band now. If you wanted, you could top stitch along this top edge. I'm not going to. I don't really find a need to do that. But okay. So now remember that our front kind of scoops down. So what we need to do now is quarter this band. So we're going to take the seams and clip those together. And then we're going to put the clips of the seams together, and that'll give us the front and the back quarter markings. I really do recommend quartering your band just because it's a tighter band to help them stay up. So you want to make sure that you have this, you stretch it equally around when you attach it to your leggings. All right. So now we've quartered our band. And we've got, you can see again, here's the front, here's the back. So next we're just going to take our leggings here and we're going to quarter those as well, because there's no front, there's no crotch seam. We want to make sure we know the middle point of that. So we'll mark that. And there is a back seam. And then the side seam, since there's a middle panel and it's not that the front meets the back, the side seam isn't going to be the seam. The side quarter mark, sorry, is a little on the other side of the seam. So it's important to find those quarter points so that you know your band is going to be attached properly. So now taking the part that scoops down, that's our front. So we're going to match it with the front of our leggings. And then just match those quarter points all the way around, making sure not to twist your waistband, not to flip it or anything crazy. I've done it all. So I'll just continue going. Nope, not right now. Sorry. You need to wait, please. I will help you in a moment, okay? Let me finish this. Go inside. Sorry. He needs help with his droid. And apparently I'm the only one. But that's okay. So we're just going to meet these quarter points up. And now we're just going to sew around to attach the waistband to the leggings. Okay, so 3 8-inch seam allowance. Like, dude, I'm almost done. Just give me a second. All right, so now we have our band attached to our leggings. I like to match the seams to the side instead of the front and the back. But so all that's left now is we just have to hem the bottom, the legs, and then we're the ankles, and we're all done. So I believe we just have to, I believe it's a 1-inch hem. Okay. Yeah. So we're just gonna fold the ankles 1 inch up. So we're gonna put wrong sides together, go up 1 inch, and then you're gonna try and catch that seam with your top stitching, whether you do a cover stitch or you do a regular sewing machine. Again, if you're doing a regular sewing machine, even for hems, I really recommend doing a stretch stitch because you really want those to be able to move with you as well. Okay, just gonna clip my starter threads so that I don't run over them. And then I like to go over my first stitches about 1/2 inch or so. Nice. Sorry. I like to check my hems just to make sure I caught everything and it's not too kooky crazy. Okay, same thing, 1 inch. trim my threads that I started that. Pardon me, I'm sorry. And well, we are officially done with our Petite Stitchery & Co. Tristyn leggings. All right, so let's see. Oh, wrong thing. All right, so here we have them. Oh, that's so cool. Look at this pocket. It's huge. This pocket is perfect for your phone. It looks so awesome. I cannot wait to get these on. How cool. I did it. I did it all. We did the moto patch. We did the pocket, color block, foam knee. Awesome job. High five. Anyways, I want to say thank you so much for sewing these up with me this week. And again, to apologize for the sniffling, the coughing, the gravelly voice. I'm really sorry. Hopefully next week will be better and not so sick. But thank you for sewing these up. I cannot wait to see your finished Tristyn leggings. So make sure you share a picture of them in the comments so that we can all love and I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but celebrate your Tristyn leggings and be inspired by your creation. So thank you again for sewing these up with me, and I will see you next week when we sew up the Simple Life Isla dress. That one I'm excited for too because it's the 52-week sew along challenge for that week is sew something with a heart, and the Isla dress has a heart cut out in the back of it, and I thought, oh, that'll be fun. So I'm excited for that one as well. And then if you're looking for the Colby sew along videos, those are on our YouTube channel, so make sure to check those out. And then the Tristyn, if you missed any of the Tristyn videos, they'll also be on the YouTube channel. I'm just sitting here petting this moto. Oh my goodness, it's so cool. I cannot wait. So I will put these on and share a picture. And I can't wait to see yours too. So thank you for sewing up with me, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.